There you go. She just talked at you and said what was going on. Hi, everyone. Um, Starting a tiny bit late for my technical difficulties, but happy to be here. Happy to see you. I'm here with one of my dogs in the room, so I'm reaching down to touch him right now just to keep him kind of happy. If you hear some like rustling, that would be him. Um, and he might want to come say hi at some point. But as we begin, I like to do an introduction where we're actually drawing and then introducing ourselves. And while we're a smaller group for the moment, that's going to work actually better than if we had everybody here right now. Um, just because we can actually share and like say our names and talk to each other. Um, but for that reason alone, I'm not going to have you introduce yourself just yet. Um, and the first thing I want to introduce to you for this class that you can also repeat in other classes, and I will be sending out like a little, we could call it a worksheet, but it's really just like a written reminder so that you'll be able to refer to it later and make that choice yourself. But I like to start out by just introducing the idea of a resource check to you. Um, it's just a really simple way of, before we begin doing something like sitting in class or drawing or following an exercise or whatever it is that is, on your plate for the day, just a way to check in and identify, like, what should I reasonably be expecting of myself right now? It's really simple. It's just, we're going to start with thinking about sleep and our energy. Like, did you sleep enough last night? Are you feeling reasonably awake right now? Maybe not. Maybe you're just like really, really tired. That is a great moment to say, I might not be able to perform at 100% today. I might not be making my most brilliant creative work when I'm like completely exhausted and kind of wish I was sleeping. But you're here, and that's cool. And if you do realize you're too tired and need to go take a nap, I am now recording this session, so you won't have to miss anything. So sleep is the first resource that I like to check in with. The next one is food. If you're hungry, if you need a snack right now, before we begin is a great time to get up and grab something. You're welcome to eat while you're here. You can be on or off camera. It's all in your control because you're in your home right now. Same goes for water. It's surprising how we only think about thirst when it's like pretty far along in the process, but having just something to drink, something nearby, it's not only like generally a good health thing, but it also might be a good thing to help you like ground yourself if you're ever struggling or feeling like distracted or frustrated. Sometimes I find just taking a sip of water is a little more easy to do than like sitting for a breath. Someone will say, "Oh, just like take a pause and breathe for a minute." I have to think a lot about doing that. If I just sip a glass of water or like I have some juice here tonight, I don't have to think that much, but I'm kind of getting a little reset moment. So I like that one. Next, go to the bathroom. If you have to, I mean, get up at any time and do it, but take note before you begin something if you're like unconsciously choosing not to go because it feels like not important right now or like you must be present. I'm going to encourage you just like listen to your body as much as possible at all times. Sometimes you won't want to, that's fine too, but you should just know that's the choice you're making. It's a great way to like be in tune with yourself right now. The last one is a little bit more nebulous, but it's just checking in with your emotional resources. So if you're going through something, like if you're moving or if there's a relationship in your life that is strained and it's drawing your attention right now, like those are just all things that might mean you are a little bit distracted by it or you have something there instead of a sort of clean slate in this moment. And this might even be a place where you get to sort of express some of those things. Um, but better to be aware that that's in the room or that that's like in your body than to have yourself like drawing and feeling just, oh, I can't focus, or there's this like I'm sitting with a lot of frustration, it just doesn't make sense and I don't know why, and now I'm thinking about why, and it's like, well, we checked in at the beginning. Oh yeah, there's a bit of struggle going on there. Okay. I mean, maybe it'll be here or maybe it will take a seat for the next hour. But I like to check in on those 5 things just to be clear on what I have to give in this moment. So I'll send out a little like written reminder of that sequence of things to check in on. And perhaps you've been just like absorbing this, and that's wonderful. Perhaps you want to take a moment and even like make a note to yourself or write down, like, here's how these things might be affecting me as we begin. Because the first thing that I'm going to do with you is like turn on a timer. This can be like a little bit stressful for some people. I like to think about it as like we have to go too fast for your criticism and your doubt to sink in. Like we just got to make something right now. So, this is going to be our introduction exercise. I am going to give you 2 minutes to do a self-portrait. It can literally be a stick figure. It does not matter, but you only have 2 minutes, and then we're going to have to come back and introduce ourselves to each other. Um, so 2 minutes, that's a little bit scary. I'm gonna put on music. Hopefully that makes it, I don't know, friendlier. And even though I've told you this is coming, I'm still talking, so you could be drawing now and stealing more time from the 2 minute window. Um, there's gonna be some music coming at you and it will be short. Yes, okay, good. So yeah, I have a song here that's 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I'm just gonna say like start drawing, and when the song ends, we're gonna have another few seconds to just like wrap it up. But yeah, we're diving in. Here we go. Self-portrait. I've won. I've known you not so very long, but watch you back. Because baby, so good with a blade. Whoa, so short. There are not many songs that are that length, which is why I started it with this like heavy sounding thing. Um, yeah, finish up. You can have a few more seconds with this. Notice if you're feeling anything about drawing so quickly. Yeah. So, let's wrap it up. And what we're going to do here, you can keep drawing while I'm talking, and then I'm going to get you to do something. But what we're going to do here is introduce ourselves. I want names and pronouns so that everyone can refer to you in the way that you like to be spoken of. And then also tell us what this was like. You can say, I loved it, I hated it, this is why, whatever. Also, if you're willing to show your drawing, I think that's a really cute way to introduce ourselves to everyone's like personal style, which maybe you feel like you don't have, but whatever it is that you did right now, it has a style, I promise. You may change that style in the future, but yeah, we've got something at least to start from. So by way of example, I'm going to do my introduction. Um, yeah. And then I was thinking I might add something, but that was already name, pronouns, drawing, how it felt to do the drawing. That's enough stuff, I think. So, here it's always funny, like holding things up to the camera and trying to make it so you can see me and the drawing. Yeah, super quick little self-portrait. You may know, am Georgia Weber, and I use she, her pronouns. Um, I've actually made a couple of books in my life, like two graphic memoirs, one of my own life experience and one in collaboration with someone else about her life experience. So I've drawn myself a lot. I'll just say that, like making a really tiny, quick drawing of me is something that I've had to practice doing for many, many years. And it's also one of the reasons why it's really valuable in a journal comics class to get you doing it, because that's kind of the point of journal comics. There's often a lot of drawing yourself in them. So, yeah, so it actually felt kind of good for me to just like whip this off quickly and not think too hard. And, I used a Sharpie, which I don't normally draw in. Sometimes I find like a ballpoint pen takes the pressure off because I'm like, this is an art. Ha ha ha. Um, so yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and that was a part of my excitement. And I'd love it if the next person would volunteer. Um, but if you don't, then I'll just, aha, Tracy. Thank you.
I'll go. I'm feeling brave.
Thanks. Nice.
Hi, Tracy, she, her. Feeling well. Okay, here's my picture.
Wow, you did a lot in a short amount of time,
That's
Tracy.
my picture.
Yeah.
I don't know how I was feeling. I was feeling like, well, I was feeling like it sucks, basically.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like her, but I was feeling like it sucks. But
Like
I,
the drawing sucks.
yeah, the drawing, I like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a really common experience that
yeah,
people hate their own drawings.
yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
Hopefully, though, there's also you can add the perspective to that of like, well, I did it in 2 minutes. Like,
Yes. Yeah, we haven't drawn her for a few years because I have a little avatar character that I was drawing about 4 years ago, but she's different. This is different. So
Yeah,
anyway, it was fun too.
good.
Somebody
Fun,
else can go now.
didn't like it, scary, good. Yeah, whatever. Everything is in the mix together. Part of why it happens so quickly is just like I don't want you to get stuck on any one of those feelings or thoughts. There's no time to get stuck. So anyway, thank you so much, Tracy. Thanks for that. Who would like to share next and introduce themselves? Sure, yeah.
I
Paula.
can go next. So we have some flow. Hi, everyone. I'm Paula Mendonça. My pronouns are she and her. This is my drawing. It's very small.
Yeah, but that's fantastic. You have like a
and
full face and hair and everything.
and hair and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the reasons why I wanted to take this, that just serendipity showed up on Instagram, and I found out about Georgia, and the course was like, I have to jump in. It's really getting out of the comfort zone
Yeah.
a little bit, and I really like that, and trying to find something new to do. I do my journal and diary on and off. I do have a notebook that is another notebook that I have since 2018, and only now I'm finishing it.
Wow.
But I do notice that every time I write it, I always end up with a drawing, or there's a drawing in there.
Okay.
And if there's something that it's about me, it's always, and I noticed by doing the self-portrait, I'm always on my back. So you can never see my face. It's me on the computer
Oh.
looking at something. So there's never my face. And I wonder why. Now that I had to do it, I get it. But,
Good
but
question.
anyway, I found that I think it was great. It's just I find it's interesting because that's what my kids also do on their first day of class. So I think it's really cute. I like that we are doing this too,
Wow.
and challenge.
Yeah. I like that some school is doing it. I had no
They
idea. That's
do, they do. Both of my kids do almost every year. They do a self-portrait on the first day of
amazing.
school. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you so much, Paula. It's great to have you here. And yeah, we'll explore that. You'll have many opportunities to draw yourself in this class. So if it's from behind, great. And if you're getting out of your comfort zone, maybe we'll see more of the character you just drew now. Nice. Well, who would like to volunteer to go next?
I can.
Sure.
Um, hey, I'm Jackie. I use they, them pronouns. This is my third time taking this course. I love everything Georgia does. Um,
Thanks, Jackie.
uh, This is my drawing. I draw a lot of self-portraits, and I like having short times to do them. But as soon as we were done and you said, "Hey, check in with how you're feeling," and I was like, "Oh, hi, super tight belly. Let's just, oh, okay, we can relax now." So
Hmm.
I think I'll try to pay more attention while I'm drawing to check in with my state, because I suspect
Lovely.
there's a lot of tension while I'm drawing.
It's very possible. And it also might be the way that you respond to the time limit is like, "Whoop,
That as
okay,
well, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. Um, yeah, fantastic. And like a lovely insight too. I mean, I definitely think it's wonderful when we can notice how we're feeling while drawing and like make adjustments. And I also find that to be like a pretty intense set of skills. Like it takes a while to be able to focus on what you're creating and also your body and adjust both of them in the moment. Oh, there's the dog. Yeah. See, he was gonna say hi. Come here. Hey, are you coming up? Oh, no. Okay, maybe next time. He just wanted to bother me for a minute. Thank you, Jackie. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's my drawing.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh my God. Yeah, in just 2 minutes. That's incredible.
Yeah, I was looking at myself on the Zoom, and so that was a little bit uncomfortable because I was aware of how I look and also the time crunch, and I found myself kind of overthinking it. Like,
Hmm.
I'm just drawing myself. Am I supposed to be like saying something deep about my identity?
No.
But then I just stopped worrying and just did it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, and I use she, her pronouns.
Cool. Thank you. Um, yeah, I will definitely be very interested whenever there's an opportunity to point things out in your drawings during this class of like, that's very interesting. I wonder where that comes from. But really, when I give you an exercise, like, I don't have any expectations of what's coming out of it. It could fully be like first thought, best thought. I don't know what it means, whatever. Just to take some of that pressure off, if that helps. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Holly, do you want to share?
Yep, I'm
Great.
Holly, she, her pronouns, and this is Megan.
Hi.
And here's my, it was all
Oh,
glasses and
wow.
wingy hair today.
Yeah. But you also, I feel like, especially because of the size of it, you got a lot done in 2 minutes. How did it
Cut a
feel?
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to kind of get back into things a bit and just like embrace the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. It can be hard to do, which is kind of why I like to start this way, because it's like before maybe any strong concept of the class is in place, it's just, I don't know, do something. Like it can be helpful for just like, yeah, letting go of some stuff. And it's only a short time that you have to let go as well. You can come right back into your comfortable thinking space immediately after. So, hi, nice to meet you guys. That was the part actually before we started that I was like, how are we going to do that with 14 people in the class? That's going to take a long time to have everyone introduced. So, this is actually really good. Um, so, yeah, I've already mentioned it. I'm going to mention it again. We're here to make journal comics, and they don't have to have you in them. I'm going to start by breaking that one concept before I then reinforce it. They really don't have to have you in them. A journal comic is just the same as journaling in writing, except for we're incorporating it through the medium of comics. Whatever you want to say, comics are the way you're saying it. So if you wanted to talk about someone else in your day and you made a comic that was just that person, and the perspective might be yours, your perspective observing them, but you never appear, like that's still a journal comic. um However, it's pretty likely that at some point you're going to draw yourself, and it is also likely you would draw yourself like a lot. So that's why we focus the first class on finding that self-portrait, something that's clear and repeatable, something that you can get comfortable with pretty quickly, because there really isn't a need for you to reach a certain level of skill to make a comic. Comics can be made from just absolutely anything. It's more about communicating and using words and pictures and the like panel rhythm that makes it into a comic as opposed to like a single illustration. There are plenty of folks who would get very philosophical about finding that line between an illustration and a comic, but we're not going to do that here. If you want, I can send you stuff to read or we can talk about it later. But for our purposes today, I want to. Oh, sorry, one of the dogs is sad that he's not in the room. There's two here. If you hear like a little whine, it's just because he's at the door going like, I want to be in there too. So if you're going to be drawing yourself a lot, you might be concerned that people can recognize you based on your skill level. Like, can you draw yourself in such a way that people will actually know it's you, panel to panel to panel, wearing different clothes, doing different actions, all of those different things that may come up. I'm here to tell you that your audience is really forgiving. It does not take much for someone reading your comic to understand what you're trying to say, even if your character, or every other thing you draw is not like perfectly replicated in every instance. So to like really drive this home, I'm going to give you a really simple exercise. This is just to help you find a couple of sort of clues, a couple of, I guess, like symbols for your reader to latch onto, and also for you to use as a marker of like, when you see these things, this is my character. I'm actually going to take a pause here and let the other dog out so that the two of them can entertain themselves. I will be back momentarily. The case. And now I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to get you to just take a couple of small notes now because I'm going to give you things to think about. We're just going to take note of those things kind of in like a list format. And then we're going to figure out how to draw them, okay? So the first thing that I want you to think about, and then give yourself a little note to remember, is your very favorite thing to wear. Something that you just absolutely love. It's like so you. It's so perfect. You love wearing it every time you do and feel good in it. If you don't have something that you feel that excited about, maybe just pick something that you wear often. Like I wear this sweater a lot. I don't think it's like the most Georgia sweater ever, but I do wear it a lot. So we could just use that. Okay, does everyone, I guess, give me like a thumbs up when you've got that covered because I don't want to move on too quick. Okay, good. Okay, great. The next thing that we're going to think about is a physical feature, something that you feel neutral to good about. We're not looking about an area that causes you shame. We're just looking for something that feels like recognizably a part of you. I often choose my hair as an example. It might be the shape of a nose. It might be like really broad shoulders. Just something about the shape of your body that you feel neutral about, or maybe better. And then, yeah, when you're done, give me a little sign, a little thumbs up. Getting there? Yep, yep, yep. Good. Okay. Okay. The last thing is this one's going to take 2 steps. Imagine an activity that you adore, something that's just like, yeah, your favorite thing to do. It can be relaxing or it can be really energetic. It doesn't matter. For some reason, I always bring up fishing in this exercise. Only one person has ever chosen fishing as their activity. But the second step, after we've figured out which activity you love to do, is to think about an object that symbolizes participation in that activity. So when I say fishing is an activity, a fishing rod would be an object that lets people know that's the activity that we're discussing. If you love basketball, it would be a basketball. If you like reading, it could be a book. Yeah, I think you get the idea. When you've got one, give me a thumbs up. Cool. Good, you guys are fast. Love that. Okay, so here's the exercise. Part 1, at least, is we're now going to draw ourselves using these objects to identify that that is us, that that is our character, except instead of drawing you like you did a few moments ago, you're going to draw yourself as a fruit or vegetable. Mm-hmm. I know, it sounds silly. That's the point. Pick a fruit or vegetable, any fruit or vegetable, and put that item of clothing on that fruit or vegetable. Put that physical attribute and that object with your activity in it all on that fruit or vegetable to identify that it is in fact you. While we do this, I'm going to play music again. It will be more gentle than last time. We'll have more time. This is not a 2-minute exercise. I'm going to say, let's do the length of one song that's like 5 or 6 minutes long. I think I've got one here in mind. And then we'll come back and check in. And it may not be perfectly finished, but you'll be on your way. Does anyone have questions before we do?
Can you just repeat the task? I kind of like missed something.
Yeah, we're drawing another self-portrait, but this time we're going to draw ourselves as a fruit or vegetable, and we're going to use the things on the list that we just made on that fruit or vegetable to make it known that it is us. Okay, cool. Thank you. I do need to be more concise, and it helps to practice saying the same things.
I spaced for a second, so.
Yeah, that's okay too. Okay, so I'm gonna give us a song that is, say, yeah, like 5 or 6 minutes long. Oh, I've got a 5 one there. No, I don't like that one. Anyway, you can get going, and then when the music turns off, I will greet you again, and you'll know we're coming back to talk about other stuff. hello. Okay. How are you? How was that? Um, you may feel like it is not finished yet. That was still a short amount of time. Um, but I think it's worthwhile if we just check in with this first, because there's one more thing that we could do before the end of class that I think will be helpful to get done. Uh, Once again, I'm happy to go first just by way of example. And I even this time put the two drawings of me on the same page for comparison, just for ease of seeing that they both, in fact, are me. So this is an eggplant. I don't know if that's clear because I haven't tried to draw many eggplants in my life. But like I said, I choose this like hair similarity. That's usually my physical attribute that's the same. I added a couple details to the sweater because like an eggplant doesn't have a neck, so the little shape was it went away. So I was like, ah, I better find other ways to connect these two things. And then I put a book into the eggplant's hand. And yeah, I just decided that eggplants in my world have human hands because it was far easier than trying to like I don't know, justify an eggplant having a sweater on with no arms. I don't know. I just I made that choice and that's entirely up to you to make as well. Um it doesn't have to be a lifelike fruit or vegetable. Just something that people would recognize and most people recognize fruits and vegetables pretty quick. So that was my vegetable me. Who would like to share next? Holly.
Okay, I made a carrot with
Oh,
comfy pajamas
nice.
on
Perfect.
and
Yeah.
my wingy hair and glasses. And
Wow.
then I'm holding a meeple from board games because I love playing board games.
That's so nice. Yeah, I love that.
Do you mind if Megan shares?
Absolutely. Hi, Megan.
Do you want to tell them about it? What did
Perfect.
you make?
Oh,
I made myself a watermelon.
whoa. That's amazing.
With her
That's
hair
awesome,
and a
Megan.
dress and TV.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love TV. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Both of you, I feel like did a lot with that short amount of time. Like especially all the detail in your clothing in that one, Holly. It was like, yeah, stellar. Thank you both. Who would like to share next?
I can show mine.
Sure.
I am a broccoli
Whoa.
wearing big striped pants with
Nice.
my eyeballs on a yoga mat.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. That's a good one too because your face is in the floret, which I feel like I don't see as often. It's usually that's kind of the hair, but your like eyes are right in the middle of it. That's amazing. Sweet. Thank you for sharing. Who would like to go next?
I can.
Yeah, sure, Tracy.
I'm a pear.
Awesome. Yeah.
Um, I wear, that's my hoodie, because
Nice.
I wear hoodies, and my hair, and my smirk, and my glasses. And I changed the pocket into a book because I didn't know how to add the book. So
Perfect.
that was my bunny pocket, but now it's a book.
That's amazing. Yeah. Good problem solving in the moment. And also, I don't know if you can do this, but like looking at your two drawings next to each other, I think they're quite recognizable. Like I remember the hair from the first drawing you did as soon as I saw it on the pair. It's there. Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, who would like to share next?
I guess I can go. I
Yeah.
found this was even harder. So I'm a pomegranate, but I think I just look like
Whoa.
a little queen.
That's amazing.
And I'm holding a knife, which is actually what is called a hori. I know. It's actually called a hori knife that you
Okay.
use for gardening. That it has like a serrated thing on one side and it's straight on the other. It was after the 5 minutes that I drew the knife because I didn't realize how fast 5 minutes go. And
Right.
I'm wearing this really cozy a sweater that I don't have it today, but I'm probably going to have it in the next classes because I wear it all the time. It's black, it has a big neck, it's lovely, comfy, came from a friend of mine, and I have it for over a decade.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, it'll be really nice for us to recognize that sweater later because we saw it first here. Yeah. That's fantastic. And also, of all the objects that might represent gardening, the knife doesn't, I mean, the knife just has so many more possibilities.
I know. I just love that knife. I'm like, every
Great.
time I see someone else in the house picking up that knife, is like, be careful with the knife.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very passionate about that gardening knife.
That's great. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I never would have known that, and you putting it in this little comic version of yourself, like, that's an opportunity to describe and explain your love of that knife and what it is for. Um, if you were gonna like make that character do something or like introduce itself with a little paragraph, it could explain so that people weren't like, why are you holding a knife every time? And then having their imaginations, carry them in other directions. Um, so that's great. You should definitely go for what is most true for you over clarity. And then you just have to know you might need to explain yourself. But that specificity, that's gold. That's very good. Yeah. Love to see that. Um, Great. Yeah, Jackie, did you want to share?
Yeah.
Great.
So I
Oh,
am a banana
yeah.
wearing my favorite like romper onesie
Sweet.
and my glasses. And I'm holding a little like candle in my hand to represent meditation.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never have thought to put those things together, but that's great. Just the banana kind of has a like I don't know, like cool. You know how sometimes when people draw like a sun, the sun is wearing sunglasses,
Yeah.
and it's like a very like almost like chill beach party kind of vibe. Like that's what I'm getting from the banana.
Yeah,
Even
I
though I
feel
don't
like
think you
it's
put sunglasses, it's just that they're dark and they're in that place that I was like, oh, it's yellow and there's glasses. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure it's the most representative version of me I've ever drawn, but
Whatever, you get to play. Um, Here's the thing though. So now that we have made those symbols that represent us, and we've given a very silly version of us that kind of identity, we can spend the next 5 minutes actually drawing ourselves more like we would actually want to in a comic going forward. Although, if you want to keep drawing yourself as a fruit or vegetable in your journal comics, like power to you, that sounds amazing. Um, but for the next 5 minutes, let's actually practice drawing ourselves. And those symbols, I just want you to know, like, you could continue to draw yourself as a fruit or vegetable. You could change the species or you could turn yourself into an object. But if you are consistent about those markers, if you are consistent about the glasses you are wearing or the hoodie that you're wearing, if you are consistent about your eye shape, your audience would be able to tell that all of those different representations were you. This is how flexible and available people's minds are when they're reading your comic. So even if you're drawing your hands totally differently one panel to the next, or if you can't figure out how to make your body in a running shape and you're like, oh no, are they going to know if it's me? Just giving your character even one of those symbols and making it consistent all the way through, you've got to pass to be imperfect in every other way. So let's do it. Let's draw ourselves as ourselves and try to use those symbols and see what happens. Consider this preparation for drawing comics next time we meet. I'm going to put on another song for 5 minutes. What's it going to be this time, though? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do 2 songs this time because 5 minutes is a long time and there are not enough of those songs that I like. How's everybody doing? I decided not to put on a second song because I looked up and we have 3 minutes left in our class, and that's my bad because we started a bit late, trying to figure out how to get everybody in and whatnot. But I don't want to keep you too long. So what I will say is that whether your drawing feels finished or not, we can take the last minute or two for another little share if you want to. Um, there is no, I don't like assign homework in classes ever, but I do say what might be nice to practice between now and next week if you feel like it, if you're inspired or excited or just think that it might be interesting, is just to try drawing yourself a few more times before next time. Like maybe in different outfits, maybe like 2 minutes in the morning where you're trying that quick exercise again. Uh, so much of drawing is just repetition and discovery. Like we can't always hone and craft our hand to do exactly what our brain is imagining. It's more like you give your hand an idea and then see what your hand comes up with. So it's good to get to know that, get to know what your hand is going to do with the ideas that you give it. Um, so yeah, that's an option. That's an option for practice between next week or before next week. Does anybody want to close out with sharing their self-portrait or any thoughts that they have about the practice, the process?
I can share. I decided to try to make it similar, but make it into the meeple instead.
Oh,
So I did that.
oh, nice. Wow. Look at that.
The
That's
arms are a little weird. And Megan wanted to share. She made herself into what?
A pepper.
Hot pepper. Can
oh,
you put closer?
nice. Spicy.
Spicy hot pepper.
Yeah, look at your hair. That's beautiful. Thank you, Megan. Thank you both. Yeah. Who else would like to share before we go?
I just tried to do it again.
Yeah. How did
So
it go?
there she is.
Nice. Yeah. That's excellent.
Little
So that's like,
glasses.
is that more the way that you used to draw her, or is this still an evolving?
No, it's still evolving because I haven't drawn her for a long time, so she hasn't come back yet.
Yeah. Well,
There's elements of that, like the smirk.
yeah,
The smirk is the big thing, I think.
perfect.
So thanks.
That's very recognizable, I think. I think you will find that that holds through. It's interesting too, because yeah, like I was saying about repeating it and just kind of seeing what comes back. Like you're seeing something different come back, but also the through line. And people who looked at those drawings from before and now would probably see those same similarities. They'd understand the relationship. Anyone else feel like sharing? Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Cool.
I just did a couple different versions. It's a bit hard to see.
Yeah.
This is a banana shopping for bananas. The banana turned into a bird. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Banana at the beach.
That's awesome. Yeah, you like the idea that you could be a banana in your journal comics or just in comics in general?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it, like banana, like it doesn't really appeal to me at all, but like this delights me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Banana was going to be my second choice after pomegranate, by the way. So
Ooh.
I get it. I get it. But I eat a lot of bananas in the morning. I think that's the fruit that my kids recognize in me is banana.
Amazing.
I was trying to do different drawings, so I feel like I still need to find my voice when it comes to, like, I don't recognize myself in the drawings, and it's not nothing to do with being bad or not bad. It's more like is not showing up the way that I want yet.
Yeah.
So almost a little bit what Tracy was talking about too. So I just feel that I need to practice a couple more times, like really kind of be with this, because like I mentioned before, I always try to avoid
Mhm.
people, or when I draw the people, it's always kind of hidden in some way. So it's good. It's challenging. So it's great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like that's fantastic if you want to keep just seeing what comes when you draw between now and next week. And it's also fine if you don't, because like we're gonna draw in the class. So you can rely on that, that if you don't find time, we will do it together. But of course, if you want to, go for it. That'd be amazing. Great. Yeah, B, did you want to share anything before we go?
Yeah, I kind of was drawing a few different little drawings instead of one big one. I felt like I dishonored this hat in my last exercise.
Okay.
It was my favorite clothing and I
Perfect.
ignored it, so I put myself in the hat.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's very recognizable. If that ended up being a thing for your comics in the future, it would be very clear. Like, think of Daria. Did you guys see Daria in like the 90s? Like, I mean, actually, any cartoon character, they always look exactly the same. But you can also like make a quick sketch of something with like spiky hair and a tube dress on, and we'll get that it's Lisa Simpson, even if it's missing the pearls or even if the face doesn't look right. You know, this is what we're working with, is that humans are very good at recognizing patterns. And if you just give one or two clues that this pattern, even though it looks slightly different than the last one, it's got these same items, it's pretty fast for people to be like, okay, yeah, I got it. So that's what you have to work with if you want to from now until next week. Next week we will be doing something with this. And I look forward to seeing you then. I'm going to send out an email with this recording and some written stuff just so if you want to refer to it later throughout the week, you can. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Feel free to come off mute or you can type it in the chat or just do your own thing.
Thanks.
So, bye
Georgia.
Thanks,
for now.
Georgia. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
So much
everyone.
fun.
Bye everybody.